I think we're going to keep being in the lull. We're going to keep getting season 40 of the...
Is that
No.
gunfire?
No. Even though it's New York. Yeah.
Welcome to Behind the Carnival Barkers.
Okay. That was weird.
An irreverent behind-the-scenes podcast that interviews the craftspeople who make unscripted television. Hosted by me, Amy Peters, who is a New York-based Emmy Award-winning editor and producer of nonfiction content. Jeremy Trott is being very zen right now. Season 1, Episode 3.
This show is supported by KizzleKit. Make your party a hit with KizzleKit. Please shop for your fancy lifestyle accessories at KizzleKit.com. That's www.kizzlekit.com.
For this episode, I'm excited to introduce Jeremy Trott, a video editor with vast experience in unscripted television.
Thank you for coming to my podcast. The idea is to talk to the craftspeople who make television.
He's seen it all, from cooking shows to investigative docuseries and everything in between.
The reality raunchy to the reality wholesome. So Bravo, HDTV, Viacom.
I thought he'd be a great guest because not only is he calm in the most questionable of situations, but Jeremy's expertise spans every stage of post-production, from media management and assistant editing to leading the final online process.
And seeing the madness of how you produce them.
Yeah.
So he's mastered every step from behind the scenes, from script to screen. Recorded in Harlem, New York City.
Sadly, in the raunchy ones, you see people that don't want to do the job.
Yeah.
And you see them coaxing them into doing things they don't want to do, and how we have to edit around that.
Yeah.
And then everyone now knows if your face is seen, you'll become famous. So you don't have to push the talent. And oh God, calling them talent is so crazy. The new talent, you don't have to push them as hard as we used to see in all the media that people don't get to see in the background. And it's different with how much you had to edit that out before. And now all you have to do is just throw the steak in the room and the talent will just run in and everyone's trying to kill each other for the piece of steak.
Yeah.
Is what it feels like now. So I feel bad saying that word. And even still calling them talent is just subject. Can we call them subjects?
Yeah, subjects.
Yeah, the subjects on the screen.
So what role do you usually do? Like, what's your day job like on these shows?
I have been in the field to make sure things get started correctly. Mm-hmm. And I'm media managing. I'm AEing on set.
What's an AE?
I'm assistant editing. So that's just getting everything set up and making sure everything is good. I've then transitioned to editing. And then I just come in and I'm one of the other assisting editors. Mm-hmm. That's not an assistant editor. Then I just am one of the regular editors who doesn't have to finish the show. Yeah. But then I've even had it where I then have to online the show. And that can be annoying because then I have to then go back into the cuts and make some of the network changes if the lead editor is already on a plane on the next project or on their vacation.
Right.
Which most editors do when a show ends. You take a little bit of a break because of the mental breakdowns that we have every day on set, off set, that we don't get to tell people.
Well, can you talk a little bit about the mental health conquests that we endure?
I'll speak from an olden standpoint first. Yeah. When we used to be in the locked edit rooms. If your producers, your people that are onlookers, call them onlookers, that are giving you notes or whatever.
Your observers.
Yeah, exactly. As you're doing every move and everything, if they don't understand it, they're talking to you and like, oh, not like that, like this and that, because they don't understand the 3 steps you're doing to give them what it is that they're looking for. So that can be a little annoying, and you have to like do it with grace. Hopefully, do it with grace and not turn around and be like, listen, butthole, let me do my thing. I'm giving you what you want, but you don't understand. But I will say, thankfully, not because of the disease, but COVID world gave us the online presence where a producer, director, whatever, can give you what they wanted, and then they're at their home, they're off doing their thing, and you then have the peace and quiet to edit and do what you need to do. And then when it's done, you could either send them a draft copy and let them review it with notes and tell you what they want in each place. And I felt like I was able to get more work done in COVID world versus before COVID, when someone's sitting in the room and micromanaging you. But I do miss the, hey, it's Nancy's birthday, so everyone takes a break and meets in the break room, and we get to see other people's faces because we're no longer in a dark room for at least a half an hour. You socialize, and then you go back into that dark room to go back to editing, hopefully with someone that's not driving you crazy. So, or a network that's giving you notes that are like, can we have this? So can we have that? Or they don't understand, like, the images we're showing you are probably the best angles that are there. But when they say things like, is there another angle of that shot and this and that? And you have to then give them the sad news of like, they didn't capture that. And then if they're really green and don't know what they're saying, well, is there any way we can get an angle of something like that? And you have to be like, sure, if this were scripted television, but this is reality. It's all interesting what you guys don't get to see at home or hear when the edit is done, that we have to either hide from you or put it in the right positions to make it entertaining for you.
Right.
And that can be, it can be fun or it can be really stressful sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I always said, like, we're making TV, it should be fun, but boy, do people think they're saving lives in heart surgery sometimes. And I get that your career or credit or whatever is at stake, but it doesn't seem worth it. And it comes a lot from people who are inexperienced, who are relegated to the format of reality TV and are bitter about it, or fill in the blank dysfunction. I don't work in scripted enough to know, is it normally like that at all the other jobs, or is it particularly strenuous for our nonfiction friends?
I think for my experience with scripted, that it's easier because you know what you're looking for. And they'll, if it's like an amazing scene or take, you got what you want, and maybe they might want it a different way because they're thinking in the edit we might want to change our minds. But from reality, these talent, these subjects, these non-actors, sometimes the pulling teeth that you get to see that these people do on set is so painful when you're sitting in post and trying to make something good. It's like the way we have to sometimes manipulate our own minds with the music, with the cutaways, with maybe adding a reaction shot from 3 days ago. And if you put it in the right place, it might make you feel a certain way. I might love that storytelling part of it, but it's nice when you're free to do that. But it's horrible when someone's micromanaging you and they don't know what you know. They don't remember what we remember as the editors. And then where it's just like, oh, I needed this, I needed that, I needed that. And like, you know how to look through the footage, the media, to find what it is you're looking for. But when they're not giving you that freedom to help you create, that's where I feel like the madness can set in. And then you have to then sell your things sadly, tell yourself, okay, this is rent. This is my kids' braces. This is that trip to Cabo that I always wanted. And then you're not as creative as you might have been if you had the freedom.
Right.
You'll still do the job because you're still good at it.
Yeah.
And you'll knock it out. So I'm going to stick it out.
Right.
I'm going to make it. But then I'm going to make sure that vacation that I get, it is going to be a memorable one.
Yeah.
Because I won't say this in a bad way. Because God forbid the show does well and they want you to come back.
Right.
So that means, every single time when you come back to work on this show, you're dealing with the same potential crazy people or amazing people. And it's like, oh, I love it. Like, I love coming back. So you'll know you need a Cabo vacation every single time when the season ends. But you're paying your bills. You're hopefully setting up a retirement fund for yourself. You go to see a doctor every once in a while. But
maybe if they let you out.
Yeah, that's the other part too. The hours and the not being able to do normal things.
Right.
And then when you say you need to, like, hey, we've been on this for 4 months. I was figuring, could I go to the dentist today? And you'll have, as an adult, you're asking other adults, can I go take care of my life? And they're like, well, we know we really need you today. So if you could, like that pain in your neck, if you could go take care of that tomorrow, but we need you today because we have a deadline.
Yeah.
That can be interesting too.
Those are the good old days. The difference between then and now, and not the luxury, but the personal space of being able to just do your thing at home being a better situation. I love it. Some people, just like you said, they miss the camaraderie, the being able to go down the hall and be like, what was that thing you did? How are you handling this character? Are you finding that? I miss that. And it doesn't come across on Slack the same.
No, it doesn't.
You can't call people in the same way. So there's a lot of that.
But because of my speed and my internet, I can always quickly just export out the scene with time code on the bottom so they can see the numbers, tell me exactly where they want something changed or a music cue or something, and they can review it, send me notes, and I can take care of it. Or what's the other one? Frame?
Frame.
Frame is beautiful.
I love it. Right there on the cut. Import the markers.
You drop the cut in, they make the dots, the markers, they give you the note, and as soon as you do the note, you can mark that the note is done.
Yes.
So you don't have the producer going, did you take care of that note yet? Did you take care of that note? If you had to think about the world where the reality stuff was more consistent, it was in the world where we did have the people down the hall or did have the people coming in and bothering you while you were working.
Yeah. For me, the downside of the work from home world is how blended the boundaries get. Like, it's easier to stay late because you're just rolling into bed 2 feet away versus a whole train ride away.
Yes.
That sort of thing.
And I have noticed that where if I haven't left, because I do know for me, being at home all the time now, I have more of a nightlife because I live alone.
Yeah.
So for me, while I'm talking to myself out loud all day while I'm editing, to other Jeremy, as I call him, by the time I sign off from my edit, other Jeremy needs friends. So I then have to get dressed and then go out and do something and make sure I'm at, or at least the computer is on at a certain time so they can see you on Slack, Frame, whatever. Like, all right, I see they're online, let me now go get the notes.
Yeah.
And then you're secretly like downing coffee or whatever.
Haven't taken your shower yet.
Exactly. So I've had days where I legitimately have not put on clothes for 2, 3, 4 days and have loved it. I'm in my bathrobe. I've got TV on in the background. I'm binge watching shows while I'm editing because I do think we as editors can do that. We have the ability to watch TV while we edit TV. In COVID world editing, as I call it, we're not getting the annoying EP network producers that are coming in and just adding in a stupid note that is just like, no, this was great. This is everything we've been doing, and this is consistently getting you ratings and your raises. You're getting paid more. We're not, but you're getting paid more. We're not seeing any of the money. Let us cook. Let us do what we're doing. But those ones that just maybe weren't hugged enough as children or something that need to feel a part of every single aspect of it, those ones, I don't feel that on my back anymore like I used to.
I thought of you for my season 1 because you are particularly like even keeled and zen in the face of crisis, and we love you for it. So to have you be on the podcast and tell me all the things that you hate is hilarious.
Yeah, it's so interesting, and like I have a lot of proteges now that I'm working with.
Yeah.
And even recently, I was doing a live shoot 2 days ago, and I guess we can call her the EP. She ran into the room screaming about something. She was like, "Why aren't you guys hitting your cues and whatever?" And she didn't even realize from what was happening. If someone gives you a note and you know they don't want what they're talking about, you have to nod your head and say, yes, I got you, or apologize. I'm so sorry, it won't happen again.
Yeah.
When you know that you didn't do anything wrong, but that's just the nature of the business. Because the ones that buck back usually don't get called back for the next show. So the kind of crap that we have to take is another part of the job that people don't know. It's just like, oh my goodness, that was so great watching that. It's like, if you only understood how sometimes I might have had to fight for it to look that way, or have to make a point over and over again until they get it. So it's like, you got to be an editor, you got to be a therapist, you have to be a doctor sometimes, because we're repairing some of these things that just didn't go well, or bless their hearts, with the fact that I do post and production. I know what it's like to be in the field, and you see these camera operators working hard a few months ago, and they're doing a running scene where someone that they flew in to get this thing going, they're doing a 2-camera shoot, and they're jogging on the pier, Pier 71 on the west side, and they hit record and started running, and they didn't realize when they were jostling that they accidentally hit the record button again, so one of the cameras went out. But all the other cameras are seeing 2-camera people following the talent.
Right.
So we'll keep getting notes from network. We see the other camera person in the shot, and you have to then kindly repeat or get that note back, and another EP sees it and they see the other camera person. That's part of the insanity. So I feel like if you stay even keel, that's the best way for the drama to end faster. Because if I start yelling with you, now you're yelling at me, now I'm worried that you might not let me stay on to the end of the show, because you might want to fire me because I embarrassed you for being correct.
Right.
So it's like all of those things that you have to remember to do that they didn't teach us in college just to make TV, that people don't know about. But I make sure when I'm off now, COVID world, as soon as I sign off, if it's a rough day and I had to grin and smile and yes, and I'm so sorry, knowing I didn't do anything wrong and getting the job done, I run straight to a karaoke bar or something with bar in it. It can even be a coffee bar, as long as it's a bar and someone is serving me. And I have places all over the city where I have to socialize with people and forget about the drama that I just went through. And then what's crazy is I know sometimes the mistake of how calm I can be sometimes will make the producers or troublemakers think that they're God's gift to the project. But sometimes you do have to stand on your morals or whatever and go like, I don't care if you fire me.
Yeah.
If you let me go, great, that's cool. But if you learn from what I said, that's what I at least hope you get out of it. But
right. Like sometimes you think it'll benefit them or production by letting them know, but they don't often want to know.
Nope.
And I have a tendency to problem solve out loud.
Yes. Which,
as an external processor, that's kind of why I talk things out, but then I'll do it with anybody. Yeah. I don't put you on a pedestal. If you're the boss and want to know where the shot is, I'm like, sorry you didn't get in the can. You know, field memory. Or, you know, they have this fantasy. Sometimes, a lot of times they just don't know any better, or they just want to double check. You have the luxury of swimming around in it. You know, you just need to convey it, but it has to be in a nice, companionable way.
And once again, if the camera operators don't get it, if the media manager didn't know that card that they're talking about is in their pants, and that pant, whatever, shorts, are in the bottom of their hamper, and they haven't had the time to do their laundry because we're on a 3-month, we got to get this show or season done. That field producer keeps losing their mind and sending messages. I know it was shot. I saw it myself. Da 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 da. And then by the time we've already moved on to episode 7, and that thing that they were losing their mind about on episode 2, that card gets found. They feel, I knew I was right. I knew I was whatever. Like, hey, no one ever said it wasn't done. But we in post, we didn't get it. So we're working with what we got. That's the surgical doctor part of it. And then that person then feels vindicated on the way that they talked to us and treated us. That part sucks. But I think it's also part of the game. And I'm not saying it's a good thing, but you have to have a thick skin to be able to handle that. And then we don't know their situation. And I think that's what people don't realize I'm doing when they're like, he's so calm. I'm like, no, I'm trying to think, why is this person yelling at me when they're yelling at me? And I try to envision myself as them. Like, okay, maybe they're the person that really needs the braces for their kids, or they're afraid that they're going to lose their job. They're late every day to work, even though they might be great at producing. I don't know what they're going through. And even if I'm completely wrong and they're just horrible.
They're just terrible.
Then in my mind, when you're being a horrible person, I'm going, yes, man, someone's going to love you. It's going to be all right. And it's like, okay. And that's what I have to do to get through it. And it's just like, all right, we just wasted 5 minutes of you losing your mind. Yeah. We don't have that angle. But this is what I was able to cut for that scene. Does it work for you? If you hate it that much, then are we scrapping it? Are we moving on to the next thing?
In COVID world, I've had a producer call me up and belittle me and yell at me and do all this stuff. And in her case, I let her because I understood the pressure that the producers were under, because the executive producer was giving them all kinds of shit. He was getting stuff from the network.
Yeah.
Everybody was under duress, and she just needed to yell at somebody. And it was somewhat humiliating, I guess, because my husband overheard, and he's just like, these are the people you work with? And it's like, oh yeah, this is every day. It's awesome.
Yeah, like this is your job. I don't mind those moments when a family member hears what you go through, because then they start to believe the stories we share. Because they might get to hear, oh, the rap party was incredible and this. I'm like, oh, see, your job is fun and it's easy. It's like, no, it's really not.
The romance of it.
Yeah, like, oh. And the times where if we're enjoying our time with family, and then you're like, okay, this was great, but I have to go because I have to log back in to do a thing.
Yeah.
And I think that can be a little crazy sometimes. But when your family sees you going through it, I appreciate that they understand, but I feel like there's a great, great feeling of when your loved ones see it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's like, oh, that was great. Like, it was horrible what I went through, but oh, you got to see it.
Yeah.
So, do you get it now? Do you see what I do? And God forbid, when I say the therapy part, when you do have a producer or whatever, and you're editing and you're working, and you start to vibe with the person and whatever, and now they're telling you about their date last night, or they're telling you about their parents' problems or their problems, and now you're like, are you serious? And it's like, well, what would you do? And it's like, because they're trusting you with edits. Now they're asking you about life's decisions. And you're like, oh. But sometimes you get invested in their problems too.
Yeah.
So the next day you're like, how did that date go? Like, like, did she ever apologize for like burning your sneakers? Like, that was crazy. Like, it's like, yeah, we worked it out. Like, we're good. And
I feel like the memory card in the pocket and somebody getting their sneakers burned probably occurred to you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, for the last bit, I was wondering if you could talk about how you get work these days and how it's changed, if at all.
Sadly, things have like really slowed down. I know that the writer strike and the actor strike definitely hit us all hard.
Yeah.
Because the studios, the directors, the executive producers that have been shelling out all of this money for the last umpteen years in Hollywood, they figured, no problem. We got to end the strike. We got to make everybody happy. But the way we're going to handle this now is we're not going to produce as much as we used to. So it put everyone into a standstill. So many of us are like, I'm now a teacher. Me, I would rather be a custodian, honestly. Put me in a public school and make me Mr. Johnson from Abbott Elementary. I would do that until I die. Just let me just empty trash cans and mop and sweep, and that would be less stressful than editing. But I've been doing it for 30 years, production, period. So I don't know how to be happy doing anything else.
Right.
So when my family are like, just do something else, do that. And then
I know.
And then if you're smart, let's play this game.
Yeah.
What should I be doing? You tell me, you know me. And then you watch them be stunted at the ideas or some of the things that they'll say. And then you give them the reasons to why that might not work. And they're like, now you're just being negative. No, let's keep going. You know what? I'll stop talking. Tell me more about what I should be doing and how you can whatever. But before me, because people have known me to always have multiple jobs and whatnot, like, you're always doing something. Right now, I'm not doing as much, but I was definitely a word of mouth person. So many people, I'd be getting an email from this person. Somebody told me your name. Someone gave me your email. Somebody gave me your resume. And I'm all like, my resume from like 10 years ago? And I was always willing to I'll work the 8 a.m. to whatever shift with you guys at work. But then when I leave you guys at work, I was going all secretly to like MTV or something, and I was working night shift. But now with everything just being AI this or that, or so many things that they're automating now, and the fact that this has just been my experience, they are pulling in kids from college and paying them cheaper to do what we've been doing. And some of them are hitting us up online and asking questions. And if you're bored, you'll maybe answer, or if you've made a YouTube page or something, TikTok, and you're teaching people how to do things, these kids are logging on the job and finding out how to do something that stuff like we can do in a heartbeat. They're researching, and it's taking 15 minutes online for them to look up how to do something we can do in 30 seconds. But they're getting paid a third or fourth of what we would get paid. And I've noticed that's what's happening. But I've also noticed, but this is a prejudice of mine, that I don't fit into the dynamic of what normally gets hired for like staff. So I've been a freelancer for so long.
Yeah.
I'm not married and I don't have kids. And I've heard through people that run companies and what they've heard, that if you're married and you have kids, you're viewed as a more stable person because you're gonna stick around. And in my head, living in New York City, I don't know how that makes any sense.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I live by myself, so I need this job. I have to pay this rent. I don't have anyone helping me. So I'm the one who's gonna be more stable. Whereas if another person lives at home with their partner, that person, like my kids have strep or chicken pox and I have to take the time off to take care of them. And there's so many options that can happen with that dynamic.
But you can't go to the dentist.
Yeah, but the no dogs, no kids, no whatever person, you're viewed as expendable because you can just go out and get another job whenever you want. I'm like, no, that's not how the real world works. And I've noticed most places think this way.
They do. My version of it is the mother somehow is seen as the weaker link.
I've heard these things too and seen it.
Yeah.
Or if you're older, they'll trust that you're not going to try to have 4 babies in a row.
Yeah.
So they can trust an older female editor versus of like, she's 23 and she still has hope. So maybe we don't want to do that because she might at any point be like, I'm in love, I'm moving away or whatever. So, but it depends on each company, each network where I've heard these things.
And what we're describing is totally illegal.
It is. It absolutely is.
Yet.
And if you say anything about it, then you could get blacklisted.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, that's the person that caused drama because they stood up for themselves. Don't hire them. I was like, that's illegal. Absolutely. So why don't you say anything about it? Can't do that either.
Can't join the union. You can't do nothing. It's just wrong on so many levels. I've spent many years being discriminated against for dumb shit like being pregnant or whatever.
Yeah.
Or, being female in the workforce, and the EP who's green and caused all his own problems needs to let it out on somebody, so he perceives the female as being that person.
And the stuff that I've had to edit out or bleep, where I'm just like, One of the shows that I really wanted to work on once, I got into it because on paper, my name is Jeremy Trott. It's an English name. It's a white sounding name. So perfect. I got the job. They sent me the paperwork. Everything was good because they saw my resume. I got recommended by someone. I got on the video chat with the EP, and I saw her go, oh, and realized I was black. And then by the end of the day, I was let go from the show. And then I hit up one of my friends who was on it, and I was just like, hey, this is not crazy, and I'm not like a conspiracy person, but I feel like I was let go from the show because I was black, and they might have thought I was a Democrat or something.
But your perspective would have been invaluable, I think.
But also, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. My brain is independent. I also don't care about anything as long as I get to have a roof over my head and my family is safe. But they thought, just from the look of me, that I was going to be some like complaining and this, and I'm offended. And I'm like, no, the check comes every Friday. I'm not offended at all. And the fact that I keep my nose clean, I know how to live in this country and keep myself safe. There are places I know not to go. There are things I know not to do. Like if I do a background check on me at 41 now, you might find a parking ticket. And I've worked really hard to keep it that way. But I saw it, and I felt it. You really wanted to action park up on the curb, but you refrained. Yeah. Because you didn't want that on your record. So I'm like, it is what it is. And I wanted to be credited on that show. Yeah. To have that as in my arsenal. And I would like to think the production company who does that show would refer to themselves and think of themselves as being open-minded or liberal even. Nah, they went automatically and replaced me with a white, younger AE who was a Republican. And now this is all me getting the facts from a friend who was on staff. And I was like, hey, these were the vibes that I got. I'm Switzerland. That is who I am. Yeah. Just leave me there. Don't typecast me. Don't put me in any box. I've always wanted to work on more news and political shows because there's always news. So if you can get in on one of those and they grow to love you, I'm always going to be working if I'm on a news show or if I'm on a news network. And I've been trying, even the friends that I've helped get jobs and then been like, get me in, and then they don't get me in. People think because of how much reality is on and how many reruns are on television now, that some people think that we're all still good and that things are still flowing, milk and honey. And it's just like, it's really not. And a lot of those shows that you loved, if you haven't noticed, the each season, the stretch has become a little bit longer and further in between each like new season. Yeah. And a lot of the times you're not even realizing you're at home and going, I love this episode. It's like you're rewatching episodes and you don't even realize you're not watching new content. Yes. Because that's what the networks have figured out. Like, we don't got to pay them, but we own these episodes. Just keep rerunning them. Like, start from the beginning and run through it all over again. And when it gets to the end, restart it from the beginning and run it all over again. And I feel like I even got blacklisted recently from some production gigs because I was working as a media manager. Yeah. I told them that the way that they were doing things had the potential for media to get lost. I even suggested, because we were reusing cards in the same day. Oh my God, what? And I'm telling them, so I was like when a scene was done, when they got me the cards, I had to back it up and then back it up again and then give them the cards back so they could record on it. Just buy more cards. And I'm saying things like rent more cards, buy more cards, please. They were shooting in 8K or 6K. And I'm like, nothing, no reality show is shown in 4K. If you downgrade to 2K, you're still getting the high quality you want, right? But we can get more space on the cards. They were like, no, we're going to keep doing it. What we're going to do. Well, some deliverables are 4K,
Even though still nobody watches it.
Yeah.
And it takes you longer with the larger files to process it.
Yes.
And you definitely can't edit it, so you have proxies.
You got to transcode, proxy, depending upon Adobe or Avid. And that takes time and all the joy that goes along with that. So a very pivotal scene was lost.
And
then I was like, remember in the beginning when I told you guys to get more cards so I could keep each day saved until we knew we had it backed up and in the system, and you guys said there was no money for it? And I got blamed for it, and I got outcasted from production with a whole crew of people that I loved working with because they needed to throw somebody under the bus.
Yep.
So they threw me under the bus, and I didn't even fight it. I was just like, maybe for the next project, they'll reach out to me and whatever.
Yeah.
But because they all still work together for the same companies, I got as, oh, that's the person who did the thing that we needed. Yeah. So I lost like a whole chunk of money that I normally would make.
I've definitely had my fair share of blacklists, and also I always joked that I paid rent under the bus because
I like that.
I need to talk it through.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's what you don't want to hear. And I've learned over time, when I was green versus more seasoned, but either way, my number one question would always be, what do you want? What did you shoot? I'm guided by the footage. Yeah. So I'll edit the way they shot it just to have a version done, and then they'll respond. But even asking questions is like criminal. It's don't do that. It's very challenging. And like you said, it's almost not even about, you essentially said it doesn't matter how good of an editor you are, it's how you deal with the room. Yeah.
And sometimes I've noticed that because of the way I've handled things, that's gotten me back into the room.
Yeah.
Because they saw that when that person was losing their mind on us, you de-escalated the situation. Or I know I even got hired for gigs because when they've let me float between production and post.
Yeah. That's invaluable.
Cool with the crew and been able to be the liaison and find out what's going on.
And what's it looking like for future?
For the future, I think once the contracts have settled down, the ones that were just set for the writers and the actors, once those go null or the time runs out, then more money will start coming back, because until that happens where the contracts run out, we're gonna still be on this thin line that we're running, I feel. And while it's happening, AI is having some fun. We're gonna keep seeing that and nothing new.
Yeah.
I think the TikTok kids and whatever are like, we keep having new ideas and we can't get our shows on like Broad City and all those things where they have their YouTube shows. It gets a following, and then the networks used to go, oh, let's take that. Netflix, let's take that. Let's make a thing. They're not doing that anymore because there's no money to do it.
Yeah. And the last show you and I did together was kind of what I thought was probably a blueprint for the future.
Yeah.
Where it's brands sponsored.
Yes. I thought that was amazing. But I really thought while watching that, like, this is what might be the new thing.
Yes. And they're going through an agency versus our traditional production companies, which I also thought was interesting.
You have to be the one to start the blueprint then. I'm holding on till things get better, or I'm gonna find a way to retool myself that I'm still using all these talents and things that I've learned. Because with me being an editor, a videographer, a sound engineer, I'm now putting out music. We gotta all retool and figure out what we're gonna do next, or go, that's it. I'm gonna become a painter and move on or whatever. And I become meter maid at this point if I do that paid well. No one has a good answer or a good substitute for the creativity that we do. And if I can put this into something else and get paid well, someone teach us. If you're listening right now, please email her whatever information she leaves so they can reach out to me and tell me, that person, I think I know what he can do. And she will reach out to me and let me know. Someone gave me an idea for you.
Yeah.
And I will be so thankful to whomever you are.
Aw. Well, thank you so much for talking to me for this podcast. I think it's valuable, and it is a document of our work and time, which I think we need.
Jeremy's mental health take and calm demeanor highlights the grace under pressure that's so often required in this business, even when facing unreasonable demands or technical glitches. And it's not just about the technical skills, as Jeremy so eloquently put it. We're often therapists, doctors, and diplomats too. The conversation really underscored the unseen battles and unspoken compromises that happen behind the scenes to deliver entertaining content. We'd like to thank Jeremy for meeting me for coffee. You can find his work on YouTube, linked in the show notes, or on Instagram at jerbear_84. That's JERBEAR_8_4.com. Music in this episode is provided by DJ Williams, whose work you can find on YouTube at DJW Music, also linked in the show notes. Post-production services are provided by Audio Photosynthesis. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Kizzle-Kit. To shop for your very own lifestyle accessories, go to www.kizzlekit.com. That's KIZZLEKIT.com. Next week on Behind the Carnival Barkers, we have an editor of one of my all-time favorite movies, Darren Aronofsky's first feature, Pi. The editor for that was Oren Sarch. Please follow us on social media for the schedule, upcoming guests, and other programming notes and updates. Sign up for our newsletter at carnivalbarkers.substack.com. And please, please, please hit that like button if you enjoyed the conversation.